Hey, how you doing? John Tubiolo here, coming to you from my office. Today I want to talk about overcoming or handling objections. And I think this is really key for a lot of salespeople in their failure or success, is how well they can overcome objections. Now, what are objections? Objections are simply the reasons people don't move forward with purchasing your product or service. All right, they're the excuses that they give in order for you to disengage or disconnect, right? I certainly believe, and this is my opinion, do what you want with it, but I've been doing this for over 30 years. The one thing about objections I think that hold true is why people have them is really lack of information. They have lack of information that you fail to provide, giving them the reason to get involved with your product or service, not the excuse for having you disengage or disconnect with them. So, what are the three really most common types of objections that you get? And it really comes down to price. And if you've been in the sales business for a while, you know price is one of the biggest objections that you get. The second one is quality. They object to the quality, again, because of lack of information about the quality of your product. And the third thing they object to is trust, right? They don't trust you. So price, quality, and trust. And I believe that some of these things kind of go back to, they could be two or three of these types of objections could be wrapped up into one. They don't really trust that the price equals the quality, or that the quality justified by the price. So some of these things are very, very relatable, but the key is to understand what the customer is really saying to you. The price is too high, they don't trust you, or they're not sure about the quality, really comes down to the information that you give the customer. So we have to redefine kind of our presentation to address those key areas, building confidence and trust in the customer, in what we're saying and what we're presenting. So, excuse me. So some of the objections that you hear that are related to these three types of objections, right? Price, quality, or trust, have to do with, I need to think about it, right? You'll hear these objections. Your price is too high. I need to speak with my spouse. These are really going back to the main objectives or the types of objectives that we have. When people tell you, and I'm really big about this, when people tell you that they need to talk to somebody else, I don't always believe that to be true. Now, in B2B or business to business type selling, they may not be the decision maker. So that may be true where they have to talk to someone else and sell up the chain or up the line. But if you're doing a residential presentation or a sales call to a residential customer, the chances are, unless you're cold calling, the chances are the decision maker's in the room. So I need to speak to my spouse or need to talk to somebody else, depending on the circumstances that you're in, may or may not be true. If it's a residential sales call that they've scheduled, I promise you, the decision maker is in the room. All right. So what we have to do, that's kind of their out. That's a defensive thing. Hey, I need to talk to my spouse. That's a defensive thing that a customer will say to get you to disengage from the sales process, giving them some space. So you haven't done a good enough job of convincing them why they should go with you, so they don't trust you, why your quality justifies the price. You haven't done a good enough job of explaining that. Or you may not even have made a differentiation between you and a competitor, which may be offering a lower price, but a product that may not perform as well as your product does. So those are going to be the framework of the structure, what the customer is really saying. When they say your price is too high, they're saying, I don't trust that your quality equals your price. When they say they need to think about it, they're saying they don't believe you. You haven't really sold them on why they should go with you. And it may be a trust factor to the company, but you need to really kind of delve deeper into what are they really saying. And a lot of the price objection has to do with they're not convinced that your product is really different than anybody else's other than price point. So you have to build the value of your product up in order to overcome the price objective. Guys, this goes back to the whole MVPR. If you do a good enough presentation, MVPR stands for maximum value to price ratio. If you do a good enough presentation to present the value of a product, not the price initially, but the value of a product, it doesn't matter what the price is. It doesn't matter what the price is. As long as they see the value over the price, they will buy. But if they see price and they see value below the price, they will never make that leap and never buy from you. So you have to go back to really looking at your presentation and sculpting that presentation to build value in your product. If the customer doesn't trust you, that's a totally different area, right? Now we have to build trust. And how do you build trust? What's the easiest and best way to build trust? By building rapport. Remember this, people buy from people they like. And if they like you, they will trust you. And if they trust you, they will buy from you. So building rapport with a customer, finding common ground, right? What is rapport? Finding commonality, finding common ground. What do we have in common with each other that we can establish some kind of relationship on that allows me to build trust? But those are really the big things, guys. Remember, if we're dealing with objections, it's got to be either the price, which we haven't built up enough value in. It's got to be quality, which we haven't really separated ourselves out from what our competitors are doing to what we're doing, what we are offering compared to everybody else, building up quality, or they don't trust you. You haven't built a relationship with the customer for them to say, yes, I want to get involved in this. So price, quality, trust. Work on your presentations. It's very, very important. If you learn this technique on overcoming objections, understanding the 3 types, you will do better in sales. I promise you. All right. Thanks for listening today. Hey, make sure you click that subscribe button. Also like this and share it with people that might need this same information. The more views that we can get on this, the more content I'm able to bring you. All right. Here looking out for you guys. Have a great day. Thanks for tuning in. Remember, hit the subscribe button. Watch my other videos. Share what you can. Great selling. Bye-bye.